Especially on a morning with this incredible story breaking overnight, how a young 7-year-old girl became the sole survivor of a plane crash that killed her entire family.
Yeah, they were flying home from their New Year's Eve celebration in Florida when something on their private plane went very, very wrong. A distress call coming in that one of the engines had failed. Minutes later, the crash in the woods in Kentucky. We have team coverage this morning, and we start here with ABC's Gloria Riviera. Gloria, good morning to you.
Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Elizabeth. Authorities say this plane went down just 7 miles from a local airport after the pilot made that severe distress call. Sadly, it would end in tragedy for everyone on board, but one, a very special, very brave little girl. Overnight, investigators still searching for answers as to what took down this family's plane that was flying from Key West to Mount Vernon Airport in Illinois. Just outside Memphis, Tennessee, air traffic control lost contact with the plane after receiving a distressed call that one of its engines had failed. Minutes later, the Piper PA-34 crashing into a remote wooded area here in Cuttawa, Kentucky. The only survivor on board, a 7-year-old girl who was able to escape on foot, walking a quarter of a mile through hilly terrain and dense woods to a nearby home.
The 7-year-old has just come out of the woods alone, scratched up, advising she was involved in a plane crash.
Larry Wilkins tells ABC News that when the young girl knocked on his door, she seemed disoriented and had a bloody nose.
About 20 minutes after 6, heard a knock on the door. Well, the dogs heard the knock on the door. And opened the door, and there's a little girl about 7 years old, bloody, had a bloody nose, legs and arms were bleeding, crying. And she told me that her parents were dead, and that she'd been in a plane crash, and the plane was upside down.
She was transported to a nearby hospital miraculously with only minor injuries.
Well, I'm going to need EMS down here. This little girl, she's got cuts all over her.
Officials confirming overnight her family on board that small plane with her, her mother, father, older sister, and 14-year-old cousin, all dead by the time authorities discovered the plane's wreckage. This morning, mourners have begun flooding the victim's Facebook page with condolences. Kentucky police call this little girl's trek to safety nothing short of amazing. Her walk on that cold, wet night after such trauma. This was not a heavily populated area, just one home in a dense wooded area, but she made it.
Amazing that she was able to find her way to that house. Perhaps there was a light on, but extraordinary story. Great to hear from the neighbor as well. Gloria, thank you.
All right, and we're going to turn now